Hey there, and welcome to this video. Well, we're going to be doing a review of the WWE Draft, which has just happened last night on SmackDown Live. So, going into this draft, I was scared. I was scared that this draft would be bad, and that it would be a bad thing. And not only was I scared it would be bad, but I was also hopeful. I was hopeful that WWE would get it right and they'd do it okay. Now, I do think that WWE got the draft wrong, but I'm not too disappointed. It's not as good as what it could have been, but it definitely isn't as bad as what it could have been. So the first 6 rounds, the rounds which is televised, those are the most important picks in the draft. You need to get them spot on right. You know, you need to make sure those picks are smart picks. You need to make sure that those are the right picks to make. Those are the really important picks. Those are probably going to be the guys and girls that are going to be in amongst that sort of main event B+ scene, and it's the picks that get everybody excited. Now, I was happy with the 2-3 pick ratio. Raw has an extra R, and they really need that extra 1 pick over the 2 picks that SmackDown get. So we start off with round 1 of the draft when Seth Rollins gets picked number 1. This is definitely the right pick, Seth Rollins. And then we have number 2, which I didn't agree with. The number 2 pick was Dean Ambrose, and yes, he's the WWE champion, so it shows how important the WWE championship is. But I don't think that Dean Ambrose himself should have been number 2. Instead, I would have had AJ Styles, because I think AJ Styles is going to be playing that sort of face of the brand for SmackDown anyway. So it makes more sense to have him at number 2. Number 3 is Charlotte. And by the way, now, I'm not sure if I would have had her at number 3, but how important this pick is. Not the fact that it's number 3, not the fact that it's in the first round, but the fact it's a woman. And I hate saying that it's so important because it's a woman, but it's true. It's so important because number 3 of the draft, the pick number 3 of the draft, number 2 for Raw, the flagship the flagship show, the franchise, number 2 pick for the franchise, for the flagship show, was a woman. And I hate saying that so happily and so surprised, but that is so important because it shows how far women's wrestling has come, that a female wrestler has been picked as pick number 2 for the flagship show of the company. Number 4 is AJ Styles. I already said that I didn't agree with that. Now, number 5 is Finn Balor, and I'm so happy that Finn Balor was in the first round, as he should have been, and it shows how important forward-looking the company is, and how important the NXT brand is to the company. But I would I would have had Finn Balor go to Raw. That's fair enough. He's probably going to be one of the faces of the company at some point. Just let me adjust myself in the seat. But Mick Foley said that they were it was because they were forward thinking. And yes, I think that is good. Mick Foley is somebody looking towards the future. But I would have had Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon use that excuse for picking somebody from NXT, because they seem to be the ones that are looking towards the future for their brand, and that's just how I personally would have done it. But anyway, round one, not too bad. Round two, we go into Roman Reigns for Raw. Okay, yeah, sure. I knew that was going to be a pick. I knew Roman Reigns would go to Raw, but I wouldn't have had him in on the draft. I would have had him as a free agent, and have said that because he is suspended, that he is not eligible for the draft, and therefore can be a free agent. That's just how I would have done it. John Cena was pick number 7. Now, the fact that he was picked number 7 in the draft overall is so important, that 6 superstars, 6 wrestlers were more important than him, and that says a lot considering he's the franchise player of the company. So I'm happy that he was down the list. However, I have to pick holes. However, I would have had John Cena a lot further down the list, and really show how important guys like Sami Zayn, Bray Wyatt, Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, I was going to say Chris Jericho because it's his name, but definitely not him. Kevin Owens, Baron Corbin, Enzo and Cat, all these newer guys, all these younger guys, I would have showed how much more important they are, how much more important the future is for the WWE, and that's what I would have done. I would have had him be the very last pick and have him be that sort of number 30 spot. Personally, I actually now that I've thought about it actually that little bit more, but I actually wouldn't have even had him in round 6. I would have had him in round 7 and have him as the cliffhanger. Where's the franchise player gonna go? Where's John Cena? Where's Superman gonna go? Oh well, looks like you have to watch WWE Network to find out. Like that kind of name draw. I think that's what they should have done actually, and have him as pick number 31 and show how important the future is. Now that's just my opinion, but then we have Brock Lesnar. Now Brock Lesnar being in this draft I think was stupid. I would have had him as a free agent, and I would have had it said that until it is clear what he's gonna do after SummerSlam, because if you saw UFC 200, he said that his next priority is Randy Orton at SummerSlam, and he said he doesn't know what he was going to do. So what I would have done was I would have said that he was a free agent, and then have it as sort of a, oh shit, who's Brock Lesnar going to go, and then we can have it announced a week or two after SummerSlam if he's joining SmackDown Live or if he's joining Monday Night Raw. Next pick was Randy Orton. Yep, number 9, not bad. 8 people more important than him. He's kind of I want to say he's an older guy in the roster, but he isn't really. He's he's like 34, 35 maybe a little bit older than that, but yeah, he definitely isn't one of the older ones, but he is a veteran and one of the most experienced ones. I'm happy he went to SmackDown Live. I think they could really do something really good with him over there at SmackDown with the younger guys. WWE Tag Team Champions, the New Day, go to Raw. Now, here's the thing though. Raw has the Women's Champion, Charlotte, and the WWE Tag Team Champions, the New Day, and they have the Cruiserweight division. That leaves SmackDown with the World Championship and the IC title, as we'll find out later. Now, I do not see I don't see Dean Ambrose holding that championship longer than Battleground, maybe, you know, to SummerSlam, but I see them taking it off him pretty soon. Now, don't get me wrong, I want him to be the champion, but I don't see him holding that championship for very long. Now, as for, you know, the women, so that's probably going to go over to Raw. Now, as for the women's championship, they give it to Charlotte, which, they give it to Raw again. Now, what, like, how, they give it to Raw. That's 3 of the major titles over to Raw. Now, I get it, they're the flagship show, they're the 3-hour show, but SmackDown needs a title, because I don't see Dean Ambrose holding that championship for too much longer. Now, they could give it to Becky Lynch. This is possible that they could give it to Becky Lynch, but it feels like they're waiting to SummerSlam to give it to Sasha Banks, and so they should, because it feels this whole story leading up to now is Sasha Banks' story. Sasha Banks' time to claim that title. And but anyway, that's a rant now, and we'll just move on to, you know, that's just how I see it. That's just how I see it. Now, Sami Zayn then goes to Raw in round 3. Bray Wyatt goes to SmackDown Live. Yeah, I'm happy enough with that. You know, Sami Zayn will probably be able to compete in the Cruiserweight division, and will possibly be able to compete alongside the likes of Ibushi, Zack Sabre Jr., possibly Johnny Gargano, you know, like guys like that, and I'd really like to see that. Now, Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch are our next 2 picks. Sasha Banks goes to Raw, Becky Lynch goes to SmackDown Live. Yeah, I'm happy with these here 2 picks. Now, I thought it would have been better to see Sasha over in SmackDown, but hey, let's not complain. Sasha Banks is obviously very important to the company that they've put in round 3 and put her straight to Raw. Now, Becky Lynch, on the other hand, I'm very happy that she went to SmackDown. Chris Jericho goes to Raw. Like, why was he number 15? He was number 15. Like, I don't want to see a guy going through his midlife crisis on my TV. Never mind on the flagship show of the company. Damn. Right, anyway, round 4, the United States champion Rusev goes over to Raw, and then Daniel Bryan says, we need a champion, so I hate to do this, but I'm going to choose The Miz, and he goes to SmackDown Live. Now, here's the thing, that means that The Miz is probably going to beat Darren Young, right? He's probably going to beat Darren Young. And Darren Young went to Raw, by the way. So The Miz has to beat Darren Young. Didn't he go to Raw? Yeah, Darren Young went to Raw. Now, here's the thing, right? This is what I would have done. If I was in charge of WWE, I would have had Daniel Bryan say, we need a championship now. And that's why I'm going to pick Darren Young. Because I have faith in him to beat The Miz at Battleground. And then Raw's next pick I would have done, and I'm happy that Kevin Owens has been picked pretty high in the list, but I would have done this. I would have had Stephanie say, well, we're going to take the Intercontinental Champion, The Miz. And then that leaves SmackDown going into a pay-per-view with only one championship, the big one, the World Heavyweight Championship, and the IC title match suddenly is so much more important. Then we have Kevin Owens get picked at number 18. 19 was, by the way, he got picked for Raw. Baron Corbin then gets picked for SmackDown. I was pretty happy about that. Really good heel. Enzo and Cass then go to Raw, and it kind of makes sense. And also, it's pretty cool that this will be Enzo and Cass's last chance to tag with John Cena, which is pretty cool. And they're probably going to go ahead and feud with the Club in Raw, because the Club, Gallows and Anderson in round 5 are actually separated from AJ Styles as they join Raw. Now then we go on to number 22. We got I think our second draft pick from NXT. Yeah, second draft pick from NXT was American Alpha, who went to SmackDown Live. The Big Show. Like, I love the Big Show. I respect him so much. He does so much for that company. But really, he went to Raw. Like, I wouldn't have had him in the draft, full stop. Please retire, mate. And I don't say that out of disrespect. I love the Big Show. I just want him to retire. I don't want to watch him. Like, Kane isn't great, right? Let's face it, Kane isn't great anymore, but he can work a match. And I don't say that out of disrespect. I love Kane and I love the Big Show, but at least Kane can work a match. But the Big Show just seems to, his size has caught up with him. Despite him being a fantastic worker in the past, his size has caught up with him. And I don't say that out of disrespect. I love the Big Show. He's amazing. I respect him so much for all he's done. He's the nicest man you ever meet. But please, man, please, just put people over at least. 24 was then Dolph Ziggler, who goes to SmackDown Live. And then we have our third pick from NXT, which was Nia Jax. Now, I disagree with this. I think that Nia Jax should have stayed in NXT, but I suppose being a member of the Samoan Dynasty, they want her to. They want all the Samoans to be, all the Wyatt family to be on TV. But I would have had Nia Jax stay down at NXT. My voice broke a little bit there, but anyway, what I would have done instead, I would have had Asuka brought up, and on the conditions of the draft only. I know that there has been champions come up with the championship, but what I would have done was I would have made a rule that if an NXT champion was drafted, due to it being a draft, I would have had them drop the title immediately, and then you can do a tournament going into Back to Brooklyn, takeover Back to Brooklyn to crown a new champion. But that's just what I would have done, and I'm looking at this with hindsight. Neville comes in to Raw at round number 6. Good pick for Raw. I would have had him go to SmackDown Live though. But anyway, Natalya then goes to SmackDown Live. Personally, I would have switched Neville and Natalya around. I would have had Natalya go to Raw, because then that means that I think she is going up against Becky Lynch, right? I hope that she is, so I'm not talking out my ass here. But I would have had her go to Raw, and then that makes that match more important, and then Neville come to SmackDown. But you know, I'm not going to complain too much about these picks. Now we then get number 28. We get Cesaro, who goes to Raw. Again, two picks that I would have switched around with Cesaro and Alberto Del Rio, who got picked at number 29 to go to SmackDown Live. I just find that Cesaro would pick in, would fit in more to SmackDown. But as per as this draft was, by the way, the last televised pick was Sheamus, who went to Raw. But as per as this match was, as this draft was, the one thing that saved it the most was the fact that Cesaro spoke out. Cesaro spoke out against being drafted to Raw, and he was talking about how disappointed he was that he got drafted to Raw and that he would have fit in better at SmackDown. That made the draft for me. I really like that, because it just adds a more real touch to it. You know what I mean? It feels better when you see it. Round 7 it was then on the network. We had Golden Truth go to Raw, Usos went to SmackDown. You probably know everything here. I'll just do a sort of overall look at and sort of tell you if there was anything that I disagreed with or agreed with. Now, one thing that I really done was, right, so Golden Truth went to Raw. I would have had Goldust go to SmackDown. I think that Goldust. I don't know why I was pronouncing the S. Goldust. I don't know. Dustin Rhodes. I don't know why I can't speak. Dustin Rhodes. I would have had go to SmackDown and then R-Truth to Raw. Now I think that Goldust can really do some amazing stuff with some of the younger talent. The guy's in shape of his life. Don't necessarily give him a title, but let him work with the younger talent. The Usos went to SmackDown Live. Does anybody really care? Kane went to SmackDown Live. That was a decent enough pick, I guess. He can work with the younger guys, but I would have had him go to Raw personally. And then Paige goes to Raw. That was a pretty decent pick. Darn Young, talked about him. Kalisto and Sin Cara was split up, and I was really happy that Kalisto gets to do his own thing. But I would have had him join the Cruiserweight division, in all honesty. I think that it would be better for Kalisto to join the Cruiserweight division. But you know what, I'm not going to complain too much. I want to see Kalisto do stuff by himself. Jack Swagger went to Raw. That was pretty good. Although I would have had him went to SmackDown, because SmackDown seems to be a lot more lenient in these sort of things, and he might have gotten more of a push. But the Ascension went to SmackDown Live, which I was really happy about, because the Ascension has been treated like shit so far, and I think that them being at SmackDown Live, they can do something there, and they can be pushed, and that's really awesome. Dudley Boyz went to Raw. Zack Ryder went to SmackDown Live. I'm really happy about that. He's officially main roster, and because he was doing so much stuff with NXT, it was kind of like, are you main roster? Are you developmental? Are you part of the developmental territory? Make up your mind. Now he is at SmackDown Live, and I think that's better for him. I think he will do well down at SmackDown Live. Summer Rae got drafted. Forgot all about her. Mark Henry got drafted. Like, what? Like, seriously, what? Really? Mark Henry? Like, I forgot that guy even existed. No, I kid. I respect that guy so much. But did he not say he was retiring after Mania? Like, seriously? Apollo Crews went to SmackDown Live. Can't be happier that he was he went to SmackDown, and I think he'll do better there. Alexa Bliss went to SmackDown Live. I wouldn't have moved her up. I would have made that pick Bayley, to be honest. I don't really see the point in having her a SmackDown Live being moved up just yet. It seems to me that the ones who moved up were the ones that they just have nothing for down at NXT, and I don't think that's the way to do stuff. I would have had her stay down at NXT and have her and Nia Jax go on and get to the final of the tournament that I mentioned. Braun Strowman goes to Raw. Bliss was stays as a team, which I'm so happy about. Bo Dallas went to Raw. That's really good. Although I think he would have done better at SmackDown. Talking about SmackDown, Eva Marie went to SmackDown because apparently she's still a thing and still employed by the company. But yeah. So yeah, let's move on. Nothing really too significant. Oh shit! Yes, there is. I completely overlooked this before. You remember, Braun Strowman went to what? went to Raw. Well, I forgot all about this, but Bray Wyatt went to SmackDown, didn't they? Where is he? Wyatt, yeah. Bray Wyatt went to SmackDown, Braun Strowman went to Raw, and Eric Rowan went to SmackDown. So part of the Wyatt family has been split up, which is really cool to see. Dana Brooke went to Raw, of course. SmackDown Live got Mojo Rawley again. Like, that was kind of oh no, actually, wait. Zack Ryder. Like, no, I just saw his name. Yes, Zack Ryder went to SmackDown too. That's really good, actually, that Mojo Rawley got drafted up now. I'm actually really happy about that, because they could tag together now and make the Hype Bros, and I really hope they do. So Curtis Axel went to Raw. I would have had him go to SmackDown. I think he would do better there. But then Carmella got drafted as well from NXT and went to SmackDown Live. Won't lie, I would have kept her in NXT, to be completely honest with you. So I mentioned before, I would have moved. I would have had. Who would I have had? Oh yeah, Bayley instead of Alexa Bliss. And what I would have done with Bayley is, then what you can do is that it's the last time that she could put. It's possibly the last time her and Sasha Banks, her and Charlotte will go up against each other, and that she would tag with Sasha Banks, and if she is picked as Sasha Banks' partner, and that's what I personally would have done. But yeah, and then we had undrafted Heath Slater. Now, personally, as I say, I would have had, a few undrafted guys there. I would have had, I would have had Brock Lesnar undrafted. I would have had Roman Reigns undrafted, and you know what, I would have had Eva Marie undrafted, and then I would have threw a fucking contract. But anyway, you can't do that, unfortunately. So, it wasn't a bad draft. It wasn't a good draft. It was just a draft. I'm sorry, I just had to. I'm sorry. I apologise. But yeah, overall, if I was to rate this draft out of 10, I'd give it a solid 6, because it wasn't terrible. It wasn't particularly good. It was okay, and I think that 6 is a really good average rating. Now, I'm really sorry that this went on for nearly half an hour. I didn't realise I was talking this long, and if you're watching this, you probably zoned out around the 2-minute mark, and I would completely understand that. In all seriousness, I would have. But let me know what you thought of the draft down below. Let me know what you thought of what I thought of the draft down below. And let's get a discussion going, maybe. And yeah, see you guys next time.